Siomra Beag.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the tiny room. Welcome back to Siomra Beag. I am the Michael of Michaelandbenjaminspodcast, and I am joined by the man who proves that curiosity leads to the cat having 9 lives. It's Benjamin.
Yes, I do last an awful long time.
Bloody unkillable.
Yeah, he's tried several times.
Can't get rid of him.
Nope.
You survived that stairs incident.
Yeah.
You survived the poisoning from this morning.
Yeah. I have the constitution of a horse with an iron stomach.
Oh, good superhero. Benjamin, let's bloody do a theme music.
Theme music for the podcast. We don't actually have any theme music.
Very good. Very amusing. Never not amusing.
Well,
Benjamin,
don't
it's
know
been
if
a
that's
very
true.
it's been a very busy week of pop culture stuff.
Has it?
It has. Not so much news. We don't have a lot of news, but lots of things have come out. You all right?
Yeah, I'm just making sure. Sorry,
You're looking at your mic there
I'm
in a funny
slightly
way.
oddly turned, so I'm going to try and.
All right,
and
you
get
pivot.
it,
You
'cause
pivot yourself
the
there.
little right. There
There you go. You
little
adjust
red
your
light.
You
is
adjust
just
your
facing
little,
slightly wrong. There we
You
go.
adjust your buttocks there. There you
There we
go.
go. Probably
Good-
should have done
good
this
man.
before the podcast, Michael.
Yeah, Benjamin. A lot of things were released. A lot of popular culture things. For example, the movie "Scary Things to Say and Do in the Dark" or whatnot. is that
Scary
out?
Stories to Tell in the Dark
That's
by
the
Guillermo
one.
del Toro.
Yeah, is that out? I think that's out.
I think that's been released. Yeah.
And we haven't managed to bloody see it,
Do we want to see it? Is it not just goosebumps for adults?
isn't it? But that's it's a good old GDT. We're big fans of GDT.
We are
here at the
GDT
podcast.
fans here at the podcast. That's true.
Also released this week was "Where's Brad Pitt's Dad? He's in Space."
Yeah, Ad Astra.
We haven't seen that either.
I wasn't aware that was the thing.
Yeah.
The first time I saw that, I saw Brad Pitt's bloody handsome face on a billboard, and I was like, "That's very handsome, Brad. That's peak '90s Brad Pitt right there."
It's like a remake of Interstellar, but with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, which I would actually probably watch just for the sake of seeing Interstellar with Brad Pitt.
And where is his dad?
He's in space.
He's in space
He's
somewhere.
in space.
He's gone off to find
Bloody
him.
Brad Pitt's the spouse.
Brad Pitt's. That's what they should have called
That's
it.
what they should have called him, Michael.
Also released, Ben, this week, and we haven't managed to see it, is Extra Normal, the Irish bloody comedy horror.
Extraordinary, but that's okay. We're going to get a sponsorship from them anyway.
Bad eggs. Bad bunch of blokes.
Bad bunch of blokes. We haven't managed to see that either, Michael.
No.
It's been a week of missed opportunities
It's
here
bloody.
at the podcast.
I tell you
Michael.
what, Ben. It's. I have managed to read the good majority of Stephen King's new book, The Institute, though.
Any sexy kids?
Of course there are.
Of course there are. It's Stephen King.
Stephen King loves writing a sexy. She gave a swish of her 13-year-old hip.
Yeah, which I don't like reading, Michael.
I don't know. I think it's aimed at 13-year-olds because
Is it?
he doesn't describe them like. Do I sound like I'm?
Are you apologising?
Am I a Stephen King apologist? Excuse me. It never sounds like he's describing them as an adult describing a sexy kid. It's like he describes them how sexy they are from a 13-year-old boy's perspective. It's odd.
Well, to be fair, Michael,
Yes.
John Green does the exact same thing in most of his
There you
young
go.
adult novels, and he got a little bit of flack for it, but he seemed to come out at the other side, no problems at all.
Yeah, and his books aren't even any good.
His books are rubbish. I did read, if John Green wants to sponsor the podcast, I will retract that live on air.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I've read 2 of John Green's books.
Paper Towns,
Paper Towns.
Looking
was
for
one.
Godot.
Looking for Alaska.
Oh,
Which
yeah,
is being turned into a movie at the moment.
Waiting for Alaska.
Waiting for Alaska.
It's about a wedding, and they have a baked Alaska as the dessert, and that's the only reason you're there. So you're like,
And it
oh
turns
god,
into a really weird existentialist theme because they're constantly waiting for the baked Alaska, but it never turns up.
Never turns up.
And it's kind of like a human nature piece where they just tear each other apart before the Alaska comes.
Yeah, it's like that famous play by Joyce, Waiting for Godot.
Yeah, super famous and definitely accurate play by Joyce, Waiting for Godot, Waiting for Alaska.
What are we doing?
Waiting for podcasts.
Oh yeah, Stephen King, The Institute. It's fine. It's imagine if Charles Xavier just kidnapped the X-Men instead of like having a nice school for them.
Is that actually what it is?
That's basically it. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a school for gifted teens, but it's not voluntary.
Is it part of the in-universe King? Is it part of the Kingverse, or is it?
I'm not going to get too deep into it there because
Okay,
A,
fair
I
enough.
don't really know, and B, I haven't read the ending yet, so
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a bit early. It's only been out a week.
We'll save our fair reading though for a week's worth of.
It's
stuff.
He likes a good chunky book, a chunky
He
tome.
does, it's a
Mr.
tome.
King. Yeah,
It's a King tome,
yeah.
like a tome. But sure, look, anyway, we're not here to talk about Stephen King and sexy kids. That's not our podcast.
No,
That's not our podcast.
that podcast is on the dark web.
and it's not by us.
No,
No, sir. It's by Stephen King himself. It's really weird.
he does like describing a sexy teenager.
I don't know if I'm into it, Michael. I'm not a fan.
It's a bit weird. Anyway,
Yeah.
what else are we talking about? Something else was released this week.
Go on.
And what was released this week was Fuck Mexico the movie.
Sorry?
No, sorry, that's not what it's called. It's called Rambo. Rambo, that's what it's called. Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Rambo.
I see what you did there.
I went to see Rambo, Ben, last night. You didn't go. You were
busy.
Otherwise
I was
engaged.
busy.
Let's say. I'll give you a little wink.
Lovely.
But I went to see Rambo, and
Thank God she doesn't listen to this podcast.
bloody hell, Ben. Bloody hell, John Rambo is an awful film. With an,
Is it really
with an
bad?
absolutely awful message. I mean,
wish I'd seen it now.
it's when the action gets going, it's gruesome and horrible and disgusting, and
As one would expect.
there's a certain amount of catharsis from the violence, as you would expect.
A release.
But holy moly,
Tough going.
oh God! Look, I'm stealing this directly from friend of the podcast Shane #@podcastwanker. He
Great
said Rambo 5 is like Taken, but without Taken's joyful outlook on life. Yeah, exactly.
It is dark.
Imagine if Taken was grim and horrible and set in Mexico, and just don't go to Mexico, Ben. That's the most important
That's
thing.
the most important moral
Mexico,
of this particular
yeah.
story.
Yeah,
I've heard that from actual Mexicans, though.
but this is worse. This is like, look, listen to your elders and don't go to Mexico.
Okay.
If you go to Mexico, it will be horrible.
What about Cancun?
Just don't go to Mexico, Ben.
Oh, okay.
If you go to Mexico, it will be very, very bad.
So are we cancelling the annual podcast retreat to Cancun then?
Well, I mean, if you believe the politics of the film Rambo, then yes.
Okay.
Build a Wall, the movie, they should have called it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Is Sylvester Stallone a pro-Trump?
I don't think Sylvester Stallone is, but I think Sylvester Stallone thinks John Rambo is. And Sylvester Stallone, writer/actor Sylvester Stallone, I think has more of an auteur in him than we really know, and would be willing to make a right-wing movie even if it didn't necessarily believe in his politics, if he felt it was right for the character.
That's fair. Rambo as a series is very interesting as a thing because it's always been very, very dark, Michael. Since Rambo First Blood.
Rambo First Blood.
It's been a very dark series.
Just First Blood as it's called. It's
it
not
was
called
very
Rambo First Blood.
critical of John Rambo and the PTSD politics of post-Vietnam America.
The first one is about a homeless drifter causing trouble in a town.
Who murders people?
No, he doesn't.
Who murders police officers?
No, not really.
Oh.
There's
Did I
one.
miswatch that movie?
Yeah, I think so. One person dies in First Blood, and it's
That's
kind of an
completely
accident.
wrong.
Yeah.
Right, well then, okay, sorry.
Yeah, one person
At the
dies.
wrong end of the stick somewhere there.
The first Rambo is nothing like the following Rambos. It's
he really leaned
weird.
into it.
The guy who wrote Rambo, whose name I've forgotten, said of the new film, "I feel like less of a human having had seen it." That's
Fuck.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird film. I don't necessarily recommend it, but
It's
I mean,
muy intensivo.
mm,
It looked a little bit. It stank of end of Mel Gibson's career movies to me.
well, it's
Where we watched things like Get the Gringo, which was equally anti-Mexico in its essence.
just don't go to Mexico, man. It's very bad. Is what this film would have you believe.
Is what this film would have you believe, but not what we believe. If you were the Mexican Tourism Board would like to sponsor the podcast,
Hola.
hola, ¿qué tal?
¿Qué tal?
Tequila.
Oh,
That'll
probably do it.
That'll probably do it.
Let's bloody move
That'll
on,
end
Ben.
that sponsorship.
Ben, how did you celebrate Batman Day?
I didn't know it was on.
Yeah, neither did I.
I've completely missed it.
Bit of crass marketing there, isn't it?
Look, I think I can't keep it up. I can't keep up.
I know. I've heard. Very bad. Very amateur. Ben, ladies and gentlemen, can't keep it up.
If you or Viagra would like to sponsor this, I've kind of reached peak hashtag day
Right, go on.
syndrome. I'm kind of sick of all the hashtag days.
I think it was International Kitten Day yesterday as well.
Bats, cats. What are we picking here?
doing? What are we doing?
What are we picking?
What are we doing?
I think there are some important days.
Red
National
Nose Day.
Suicide Awareness Day.
Yeah.
National Mental Health Day is probably a good call.
Bloody that cancer one with the daffodils.
Yeah, a bit of anti-cancer day.
Yeah.
Let's get that.
Batman
That's
Day,
good.
though. Probably not
But I
necessary.
think Batman Day is just peak consumerism, Michael. DC took the opportunity to let us know that James Tynion would be taking over from Tom King.
My friend Tom King.
No, not your friend Tom King. Noted divisive figure on this podcast. Noted divisive figure in Ben's life in general. Because
Tom King.
sometimes I love Tom King, not your friend Tom King. Sometimes I love what he writes, and other times I'm not a fan, Michael. Other times I struggle deeply with King-esque writing. Not Stephen King-esque writing, Tom King-esque writing.
My friend Stephen King.
No, not your friend Stephen King. You have a friend Stephen King?
I do have a friend called Stephen King, yeah.
For fuck's sake. Mates and Mick, the podcast.
Yeah, I just
coming
know
out
lots of
this
people called
October.
King. I think it's a common name in Ireland. Ben.
So James Tinian will be taking over. James Tinian writes some very convoluted, dark stuff, so that'll be interesting to see.
Oh, good.
He's like the bastard love child of
No,
Tom King and Scott Schneider, but kind of like a hacky pastiche of them.
Oh, that's very negative.
He's written some good stuff, but it gets messy quick. He loves an alternate verse. He loves a retconning. Everything has a dark secret that we didn't know about earlier.
That we didn't know about earlier.
Yeah, and I hate that kind of writing.
Like John Rambo.
Yeah, John, exactly. Oh wait,
no, he doesn't know.
No,
it's very straightforward.
John Rambo's always been a bit of a murderous bigot.
Just don't go to Mexico. No, John Rambo's not a bigot. Like he in the movie John Rambo or Rambo, whatever it's called, Rambo Last Blood. I wanted to call it Rambo Worst Blood, but I heard that on another podcast and I can't steal it.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, God damn it! Other podcasts getting there first.
Other podcasts.
What was I saying?
Don't know.
Yeah, no, he's fine. Like he never says I got to kill all these. Insert derogative term for
Mexicans that we won't use on this podcast.
Just the film is racist. And
do you think it's do you think it's forcing people to look at that kind of rhetoric? And
no.
Oh no, it's just cashing in.
Just don't go near Mexico. It's the worst. Anyway, we've gone back a topic.
Yeah, sorry, we're going backwards in the podcast.
You don't like the Batman guy.
It's not that I don't like him. It's just I find that his stuff. I hate big dark bloody secret retconning.
Oh yeah,
it's not my thing.
Like when the X-Men team were actually the second X-Men team.
I mean, what's that?
Yeah.
What was that? That's just lazy writing.
It's very important in the current run of X-Men with Jonathan Hickman.
I like Hickman. So again, I'm torn. I don't like big dark things that nobody noticed before. It's just not good writing, Michael. It's lazy.
Unless it's seeded from the beginning.
No. If you have a Hickman,
Sorry, I thought you were reaching for my hand.
I was kind of. I'm in a very emotionally rough place at the moment. If you start your comic,
yeah,
and it's the one author the whole way through, and you've got little nuggets of darkness,
yeah, like Descender.
Descender's great. There's little nuggets of darkness all over Descender.
It's all about finding the nuggets. What are they?
Lemire does it as well. Black Hammer has great little nuggets of serious darkness running throughout.
Didn't Lemire write Descender?
Yeah, it's probably Lemire. Lemire's good at a dark nugget. He's got dark nuggets throughout. I don't know if we can call them that.
It's like a kind of poo.
It's going to get me in trouble.
I'm going to drop some dark nuggets off before I come in.
Anyway, he does it quite well, and then you get the payoff, which is great because you've always suspected that something's not quite right here, and then something's not quite right here.
Told you.
But other times, Michael, it's bloody awful. It's just like, but actually, Charles Xavier was evil all along.
Not evil, just a bit of a dick. I like your woolen knit jumper, Ben.
Thank you.
It's nice and autumnal.
It is very autumnal. I'm in my autumnal wardrobe these days, Michael.
What are we bloody doing?
You're going to see a lot more of my Dr. Martens, my big brown Dr. Martin boots, because those are very autumnal as well. But anyway, Michael,
Benjamin.
Speaking of...
you're doing it. You're doing the segue.
No, go on.
Go on, you do it.
No,
you do it.
Out to me.
No, you
so
do it.
there's quite frankly an inappropriately cleavaged action figure.
I would say appropriately
standing
cleavaged.
in front of me. Of course you would. It's a bloody cat lady. We're going to be looking at the Black Cat, Felicia Hardy.
Yes, Ben. Some people say, Ben, that some of our best episodes are when we do a pitch.
A few people have said that to us, Michael.
More than one person has said that to us, Ben.
A
bloody pitch. So what we've done, Ben, is in the tradition of our previous pitches, particularly of our kind of comic book characters like our Marvel and our DCs, what we like to do is take a B or C or possibly even D-list character.
In this case, D-list character.
I would say Black Cat is a C-list character.
You would, wouldn't you?
Moon Knight is a D-list character, or was.
He's getting a TV series.
He's getting a bloody TV series now, possibly because of our influence.
I think almost definitely because of our influence. Still waiting on those royalties. Marvel.
Marvel's Hercules is a D-list character.
He might be getting a series eventually too, though.
He's going to be in Eternals.
Sure, look.
Everyone we talked about is now showing up. Do remember, though, that Black Cat was on the slate as the movie Black Cat and Silver Sable.
Yes, but then got deslated.
That wasn't going to happen, was it?
Or slated.
Oh,
but that might only make sense in a Hiberno English colloquialism sense, doesn't it?
No, people say slated
in a general thing. Good.
Yeah, to
good
insult.
But anyway,
So what we're going to do, Ben, is I've done a little pitch. I had a holiday, and when I'm on holiday, sometimes I like to write down stories.
he does.
And one of
quite good at them,
one
too.
of the things I like about a movie, Ben, is you can really distill down a character. You don't have to follow any particular comic book run.
You can get the essence.
You can try and get the essence of a character and make it a fun little one-off adventure without having to worry about 30 years of...
retconning. And
It's not 30 now, 60 years
cramming
of...
things. It's quite a few years. She's
yeah.
been around a lot longer than I thought.
So Ben,
Michael,
why don't you bloody tell us who even is the Black Cat?
just before that,
Oh, okay, sorry.
can we call this mini-series of pitches Pitch Please? we really...
That's a great idea.
I'm going to call those, from now on, at the top of the thumbnails for
pitch
our pitch
episodes are called
episodes.
Pitch
They're going to be
Please.
called Pitch Please
That's brilliant.
Presents.
Yeah,
Pitch Please
excellent.
Presents. So
Very good.
that just came to me there, Michael. I'm just...
You're just an ideas
delighted
machine.
with that. Delighted with that. Well, no, you've done most of the legwork on today's episode. But
So Ben, who
traditional-
even is Black Cat?
who
Go on,
even
then,
is
son of
Black
a
Cat?
bitch.
Well, Black Cat was introduced in 1979.
1979 of
Michael.
all
so
years.
she's much older than she looks.
Yeah,
Much older than she looks. It's a very sexy action figure, Michael.
I like a sexy action figure, Ben. Look at Iron Man there.
The
Look at
eyes
those-
are a bit uncanny valley, though.
Look at those abs.
She needs a repaint.
Pen, people can't see this. This is the Hasbro Marvel Legends.
Look, we'll put it up on the...
2014 Black
It's
Cat.
going
I
up on the
think.
gram.
Skyline Sirens.
It's going up on the gram as a little teaser for this evening's episode.
Boop, 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 boop.
Yep. Anyway,
Stop getting distracted by the sexy action figure and tell us who is Black Cat.
she was debuted in The Amazing Spider-Man number 142
Mm-hmm.
by Marv Wolfman, who
Marv.
we've spoken about numerously on the podcast. That's not right. Many
No.
times. Numerous times. That's what
Yeah,
I was
there
trying
you
to say.
go.
Numerous times in the podcast. And Dave Cockrum was the artist on this one. And she's I think it's fair to say, when she was introduced, Michael, she's a bit of a Selena Kyle ripoff.
I disagree,
Okay, fair enough.
but go on.
She's a sexy cat lady.
Mm-hmm.
She began as a simple cat burglar.
Yeah.
Felicia Hardy is her name. She was the daughter of a famous cat burglar in the Marvel Universe. Well, supposedly famous cat burglar who
Yeah,
we never heard
of
about
him
before.
Yeah.
But he was really good at what he did. And he raised her with a drive to take what she wanted. And that was his whole kind of fatherly role. But over the years, a lot's been done to Felicia Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes she has an L superpower.
Yeah.
Because of Kingpin experimentation.
You've said Kingpin the way Benedict Cumberbatch says penguins.
What did I say?
Kingpin. Very good.
Kingpin
Yeah.
did a little, made her volunteer for an experiment. And she got some superpowers, and they were ill-defined superpowers at the best of times.
Mm-hmm.
They were one of those wishy-washy superpowers, Michael, that isn't really necessarily a quantifiable
She
superpower.
could kind of generate bad luck.
She had a bad luck aura,
Yeah.
apparently. And Felicia Hardy, I think, has suffered from some of the worst flip-flopping and poor writing
Go on.
that I've ever seen in a comic book character. So she started out as a cat burglar with a strong drive.
Yeah.
And then she gets a bit smitten. The kitten gets smitten with our good pal Peter Parker.
Peter Parker, the Spider-Man.
And then she becomes his vigilante stalker,
Yeah, a little bit.
kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a bit obsessive and very clingy.
Mm-hmm.
And she does awfully weird things to get his attention.
Yeah.
And sometimes she's a baddie.
Yeah.
And sometimes she's a goodie.
In recent issues, she was a flat-out baddie.
Yeah, she's a kingpin all her own.
Yeah.
A kingpin.
But she's back now.
all
She's
her own.
back to being a
And now
cat
she's
burglar.
back to being a cat burglar. And it's a lot of flip-flopping, Michael. It's hard to keep up with Felicia Hardy's flip-flopping. And one of the most interesting things I find is, you and I both know that Jeff Loeb is not beloved on this podcast.
No, one of our arch nemesis.
But I find that
Yeah.
Jeff Loeb stole a lot of Felicia Hardy's characterization and used it for his Catwoman in the either love it or hate it Hush run that he did in 2009.
Well, that's actually what I was going to bring up earlier, Ben, when you
Yeah.
said she was kind of a rip-off of Catwoman.
Yeah, I've come a loop. I've looped.
You kind of looped a little bit.
Sorry, my brain was doing the mathematics because I was doing most of the research for the podcast this morning, Michael.
Mm.
And my brain has been doing the mathematics as I spoke, which often happens to me.
Yeah.
And I've come to a realization
Well,
in medias res.
I've always had this thing in my head that, and now that I'm about to say it live with a couple of hundred people listening, it's not live, I can edit it out, but you know what I mean.
You're not going to.
No, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to edit it out.
Yeah.
I've always believed that Catwoman obviously came first,
Yes.
but Catwoman was a kind of purple-wearing, big cat-themed burglar.
Yes.
And Felicia Hardy was a cat burglar.
and used that as the theme.
Yeah. Whereas Catwoman wasn't really a cat burglar. She was a cat-themed burglar.
True.
And then Catwoman later became a cat burglar.
Huh.
I've always believed that. Now that I've said it out loud, I'm not sure it's true. So I think there was a kind of a tete-a-tete of inspiration between the two characters. Yeah. And Felicia Hardy was usually more on the side of good.
Usually.
And Catwoman was usually more on the side of bad.
She was a prime villainess at one point.
But at this stage in their character development, you could probably merge them into one character.
They're almost the same. But as I said, one of the things that I find really difficult about Black Cat is she could be a very interesting character, but when she's written, she's either psychotically sexy, which is a trope that I don't ever enjoy.
Except in real life.
Which is just great. To all those psychotically sexy women out there, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a
for
lot
being
of adventures.
you. Yeah, I just have a great life sometimes. It's great. But anyway, aside from that, she's irritatingly psychotically sexy on occasion. It's one of those really aggressive, like, I'm so sexy and I'm going to use it as a way. And it's pointless characterization on occasion.
I'm a sexy sexer.
And it's pointless characterization on occasion. But other times she's this weak, desperate character. There's one arc somewhere around the 90s where she goes away to Europe, has a lovely time in Europe.
Oh, lovely.
And she does a comeback. Yeah. And she finds out that Peter Parker's with Mary Jane Watson now.
Oh, holy moly.
They've done and got hitched. And she has a mental breakdown because she got hitched. And so what does she do? She ruins his life. Has a psychotic revenge. Awful motivation for a female character. And not great writing.
Not good.
That's not what you want. But I think probably the thing that I dislike most about Felicia Hardy's convoluted back history is the retconning, Michael.
Constant retconning.
And much in the theme of this podcast, Michael, bloody deep dark secret.
What's the deep dark secret?
She was bloody sexually assaulted as a freshman.
Kevin Smith.
At university. Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith did a run on the Black Cat in her own series.
Yeah, in her own mini-series. What was it called? The Evil That Men Do?
The Evil That Men Do.
Is that what it was called?
With noted sexy lady drawer
Terry Dodson.
Terry Dodson.
Yeah.
Dodson.
Dodson
was actually my introduction to sexy comic book ladies. And Adam Hughes. Do you know Adam Hughes?
Of course I know
the
Adam
lovely
Hughes.
pastel
They're
sexy ladies.
They're the kind of triumvirate of sexy comic book lady drawers.
Yes, and I very often confuse Adam Hughes with Terry Dodson's work.
Actually, there's probably four. There's four sexy comic book lady drawers. No, Adam Hughes, Terry Dodson, Frank Cho, and J. Scott Campbell.
Yes.
They're your kind of classic 90s sexy comic book lady drawers.
All of whom are obsessed with Black Cat and Mary Jane Watson.
I know, yeah.
They're just sort of constant loop in the portfolio.
I'd say they should do a podcast, the four of them. that would be a good podcast.
Formative women.
Speaking of podcast, did you hear that Aaron Eisenberg, who played Nog in Deep Space Nine, died?
No, I didn't hear about that at all.
It's a very shame. He's 50.
That's a strange segue, Michael.
Yeah, I know. He had a podcast, and it made me remember. Very sad.
Oh, and he's lost the podcast.
Well, he's dead.
Oh,
he's dead, Ben. That's the least of his worries.
He won't be doing it from Beyond the Grave, then.
No.
That'd be a great name for a podcast, Beyond the Grave.
Very difficult to pull off.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, Ben.
Sorry.
You're right. No, I agree with a lot of what you said there.
But there was, yes, the Kevin Smith fridging of Felicia Hardy, and it's not fridging in the traditional sense of her dying to motivate a male character. I can't remember what we call that trope.
I can't remember the trope where women have to get raped to have
trauma
any sort
for
of
interest. It's the grit backstory. It's the women have to have some kind of trauma in their life to be interesting. Which I don't believe in real life, by the way. Sorry, let me be very clear on that. It's a trope that I very much dislike. And she suffers from that. She's sexually assaulted as a freshman at NYU. What I did find out, which is very funny, just to lighten up the tone there.
Lighten it up there a bit.
Is that she comes from Flushing, New York.
Yeah,
which I thought was a hilarious name.
It's in Queens.
For a place in Queens. Flushing, New York.
Yeah, Flushing, Queens.
Get out of the bowl.
It's where the nanny lives, isn't it? From the show The Nanny.
I don't know what that is.
With Fran Drescher.
Oh, I have no idea.
You've never seen The Nanny?
No, sorry.
Okay, well, that's what we'll do after. We'll watch
we're going to watch The Nanny. But she's occasionally a very interesting character. My favourite version of her is the animated series, Felicia Hardy, because she's very sexy in that.
You liked her in a sweater vest,
That
did
was
you?
quite. I liked that sweater vest combo. In fact, I believe that sweater vest combo is still something that has an effect on me to
that's
this
good
day.
to know. Very
Because
good.
I'll occasionally meet a lady and they'll be like, "Oh, she's very refined and sexy." It's
nice
like, why
sweater
do you
vest.
think that? She wears a sweater vest, and sometimes it has a polo neck.
Little polo neck collar on it.
And chokers are still a thing for me. I was a big fan of the 2015, 2016, 2017 revival of the 90s choker, which
Right.
is
Well, welcome to Ben's fetish hour, everybody.
not a fetish, it's just an attraction point.
Okay.
But yeah,
I am going to propose to you
Oh.
a movie,
very unexpected, Michael. Yes,
a Black Cat movie.
go on.
And the Black Cat movie, Ben, one of the things that I've always felt that Black Cat suffers from is being a supporting character. Because with supporting characters, you can flip-flop them around depending on what the main character needs.
And that's no good for consistency.
No, so we're going to do a film in which the Black Cat, Ben, is the main character.
Ooh,
Isn't that exciting?
yes, it is actually.
Yeah. So,
Quick
Yeah, go
point of clarification. Will there be sexy sweater vests?
if you want,
Oh yes,
we'll talk about it now.
get the fuck in.
So anyway, right, this film will be set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Go
or
on.
possibly the ongoing Sony Spider-Man Cinematic Universe,
Which seems to be a fucking
which
thing.
seems to be a thing. Who bloody knows? And it will be set, Ben, let's say about 3 years from now.
Okay.
Which actually, funnily enough, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe will make it 2026
Yes, because we
because
have
of
a
the time jump, which will become relevant, and I'll tell you why.
The blip.
but Something to remember.
A blip.
The other thing to remember, Ben, is that the last Spider-Man film ended with his identity being revealed by J. Jonah Jameson.
Revealed.
Right? So that's where we're set up. That's where we are.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, Ben, a bit of casting.
Oh,
Obviously, you have to have a bit of casting.
love a bit of casting.
You have to have a bit of
Michael.
casting. The main character is obviously Black Cat.
She is.
And for Black Cat, Ben, I have cast Jaden Smith.
Didn't see that coming.
No, well, Ben, screw you and your gender normative, heteronormative, racial stereotypes.
Okay.
Black Cat... No, it's Taylor Swift, am I joking?
Okay. Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Feck off.
No,
No, I'm out now.
I don't
done.
care. You can get out. This is where... This is the kind of twist of the whole thing. Here's the reasons why it's Taylor Swift, Ben. Have you ever seen...
Spoiled this for me. Oh.
So much so that you've kicked the action figure off the table. Have you ever seen the music video for "Look at What You Made Me Do"
Yeah, I hate it.
by Taylor Swift?
I hate it.
That
It's
is-
forced sexy. She's trying to be edgy. She's not actually an edgy person. And it's not sexy. It's
Well-
just forced sexy. It's look
I-
at me, I'm aggressively sexy.
Ideal.
Tactics. Hate it.
That's the point.
No, we should make a non-aggressively sexy Catwoman because she doesn't need to be aggressively sexy.
Ben, you haven't. It's not. First of all, it's not Catwoman. Second of all, you haven't even listened to the pitch yet.
No, I haven't.
You've just had a whinge, and then you've posed the action figure in the most unnecessarily sexy pose of the whole afternoon.
I couldn't make her stand normally, so
So,
I made
yeah.
her sit.
So it's I have to tell you who it was before we start, right? So it's 2026, Ben,
Yeah.
and we open
Yes.
our film on a bank.
Oh,
Classic,
classic.
right? And into the bank walks a young lady in a sweater vest.
Mm.
Oh yes,
I'm back on board.
I knew you would be in a sweater vest with a nice little polo collar. She's coming into the bank to do some banking. I don't know.
Singing
It doesn't
my
really
song.
matter, right? And she joins the queue in the bank. The bank is in New York.
Very polite.
Yeah, she joins the queue, and just ahead of her in the queue, there's a kind of scruffy, nervous-looking guy,
Dude.
and she's like, she notices him, and she's like, "Who the hell is this guy? What's he doing?"
What's this all?
Yeah, it's Conor McGregor. He goes, who the fuck is this guy?
Who the fuck is this?
Right, and so he's all nervous. Maybe we get Conor McGregor to play him.
Oh, let's
So-
not give him any more press.
So he's all nervous and a bit edgy, and she's kind of keeping an eye on him, and she takes a kind of step back, a little bit back away from him.
Yeah, because you don't want to be mixed up with this guy's
Don't want to
business.
mix up with this guy's business. So this guy gets up to the front of the queue. To no one's surprise, Ben, not even ours, he pulls out a gun.
Look, it's pretty obvious, Michael.
And he waves it at the cashier, and he's like, "Don't press that button, bitch." And she's like, "Oh, I won't press the button." And he's like waving
derogatory
around.
slurs, we don't like those.
Exactly, right. And he takes out, everyone starts screaming and like trying to run away, and he's like, "Everybody stop running away, don't run away." Everybody, he points the gun at
He's not
the,
very good at this, though.
No, he points the gun at the young lady who walked in. He says, "You stay there, bitch." Maybe less bitch. And he takes out a bag
Is it
of
Freddy Krueger?
yeah. It's Robert Englund. And he takes out a bag and he's like, fill this money up bag, bitch. And the cashier says, we don't have that much cash on the...
We're a bank. We
It's
don't
a
do cash
It's
anymore.
just 2026. What do you want here? And he's like,
digital these
you
days."
better fill it up or else get your hand off that alarm. And she's like, you better fill it up or else I'll bloody shoot you. I swear to God, bitch. So everyone's like, oh, this guy's an asshole anyway, isn't he? And at that moment, Ben,
Yeah.
by an act of pure coincidence, two on duty but not fully not cognizant of the situation cops walk in.
Stroll in.
Two cops stroll in.
Donuts in hand?
Donut and coffee. One man, one lady.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Two character actors.
Very balanced. Two
you
we
know,
like.
two policemen, two police people.
A
who you'll
Tudyk
see-
and a...
something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah,
A
maybe.
Tudyk and a Bell.
Yeah, something like that. And you say, oh, I know those two. Maybe not Kristen Bell. She might be too famous.
Too famous.
But, two of those people.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of those people.
Oh, I know that guy.
You know that guy?
Oh, that guy.
You know that guy? Maybe you're one who voices Mabel. What's her name?
Kirsten Shaw.
Yeah, maybe someone like that.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
I'd watch a Kirsten Shaw
Yeah.
walk in. Yeah.
And they walk in and they like
John DiMaggio maybe be the other cop.
someone like that. Tudgy could be a good shout as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, they realise what the heck, and they pull their guns
Yes.
on the crook, on the bank robber,
Robert England.
on Robert Englund. He's like, don't put your guns on me, bitch. So he grabs the young lady
Yes.
and he holds the gun to her head.
Oh no.
And he says, back off, get away.
Such tension.
All right. So everyone's like, oh, this is going very badly.
Oh no.
So the robber starts backing away, and he's pointing the gun at her, and he's pointing the gun, and she's like, she's like screaming, And,
Oh, she's screaming.
oh yeah, she's terrified,
Oh, okay.
right? So he eventually brings her towards an office, kicks the office open backwards, like a donkey kick.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, and then backs in, pointing the gun at her, so the cops can't
Get him in the back.
get him in the back and so on. So he goes in, shoves the door shut, and the police go over, and the woman's trying to talk to him, and the man's trying to kick the door open, and he's like kicking the door, and he's saying, God, do a New York cop, tell me.
God damn it, open the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello?
And the guy inside is like, I'm not opening the door. If you don't get away, I'm going to kill this bitch.
Bitch.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't say bitch as much. Maybe I'll ease
Robert
off
England. We don't have a choice
Yeah,
here.
I'll ease off on that. And then the lady cop is like, just let her out. Just come on. No one needs to get hurt. Everything's fine. And the two cops are like, not great.
They're not good at their jobs.
They're not. This isn't their job. Like, they're not hostage negotiators
This
or.
is above the pay grade.
Exactly.
For a standard beat cop in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we spend a bit of time with them trying to talk to her. Eventually, the guy says, "Okay, I'm gonna come out. I'm coming out." Okay. He slides the gun under the door.
Oh, good.
The cop picks up the gun. He opens the door. He comes out hands up. They arrest him quite roughly.
Good.
And the young lady, played by Taylor Swift, obviously, is all her hair is all messed up and she's crying and
Very sad.
And the lady cop helps her up and says, "Ma'am, are you okay?" She says, "Oh, just a bit shocked." And they bring her out, and the cashier starts a round of applause.
Oh, it's a classic New York moment.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it's a classic New York
And
moment.
everyone clapped.
The two cops have the guy in cuffs, and they're dragging them out, and they say to the lady, "Ma'am, you're going to have to come down to the station." You say that in a New York voice.
Ma'am, you're going to have to come down to the station and give a statement.
Exactly. And she goes, Can I just do a bit of banking first or whatever? Right? So
Haven't we all been there?
the two cops leave with the crook.
Got him.
As they're leaving, in walks, in the classic MCU disguise, Peter Parker. Now people know him.
Is it an owl hat on the head with sunglasses?
Hat, sunglasses, hoodie.
Baseball cap, sunglasses. Yeah.
Exactly, the MCU disguise.
Yeah.
Because people know him, but he still has to do his banking. And he's kind of going, you can do a Peter Parker voice, can't you?
Oh, hey everybody, did I miss it?
Yeah, good.
Something
But but it's just Peter Parker.
But he
remember,
can't
it's
say
not
it
Spider-Man.
now, you see,
Exactly.
so yeah.
He's like, who pays in checks in 2026?
Yeah.
So he's coming in to cash his check, and he happens to see it. And as they're walking past, his Peter tingle goes off a little bit.
Just a Peter tingle.
Just a little Peter
A
tingle.
little Peter tingle.
And he's like,
Pete
oh,
tingles.
well, it's pretty normal, I suppose.
It's a bank.
Yeah,
There's cameras on me.
exactly.
Security.
So, the young lady leaves, and as she's leaving, she fixes her hair, cleans off her makeup, walks around the corner. Around the corner, the cop car is stopped, and she gets in.
Oh.
Then we see a flashback, and in the flashback we see that the moment that the crook closed the door when he went into the office, she rolled backwards onto his shoulders, jumped up into an air vent.
Oh.
When she was in the air vent, she pressed a button on her chest and a black cat nano costume appeared.
Oh, I love a nano costume.
Then she put on a blonde wig and a domino mask and ninja'd through some air ducts and whatnot
Goodness.
into an office upstairs. Right?
Yes, for some data maybe.
Right. She put a USB into a thing, and then she did boop, and then she does the reverse ninja and back down, and just when she gets back down, she touches the thing, it goes back into the
No
necklace.
one's the wiser.
And she messes up her hair, streaks her makeup, and then that's when the guy slides out the gun and they come out. So she gets in, she's in on it. The cops are not real cops, they're her crew, and the robber isn't a real robber.
It's a whole
It was all her crew. So she's kind of explaining that to them, and it all went well, and she says, everything's all right, alarms go off tonight at 11, that's when we'll come back.
Nice.
Huh?
Nice.
Just as she's explaining that, Spider-Man lands on the roof and says, hey guys.
Hey,
Yeah.
you left us behind.
Right? And then they all go, oh crap.
Yeah, because it's Spider-Man.
Exactly. She hits the disguise again, becomes Black Cat very quickly, so he doesn't see her face.
Yeah.
She does the same backward roll.
Because she's very flexible.
Very flexible, kicks out the back window,
Because she's kind of strong too.
because she's kind of strong, and disappears.
Is it the nanosuit that makes her strong? We don't know.
I don't know, Van, is it? Who bloody knows? So the cops get out of the car and they're like, back off, Spider-Man, this is an arrest. And he's like, you guys aren't real cops. And, you know, a classic Spider-Man versus Thugs fight where he very casually...
A nice quip like, isn't your badge usually on the left?
Yeah, or something like that. He very casually disarms them, webs them up,
Nice.
all three of them.
Very
People are
cash.
filming, though.
Oh no.
And people are filming Spider-Man catching cops.
Oh no.
Exactly.
Oh.
Not ideal.
This is not what we want at all.
No, not for Spider-Man.
No.
Very bad.
Bad timing.
But he looks around and he notices that the fourth lady's gone. He's like, what the hell?
Dag nabbit.
Where? He's like, hey, lady, come back. Where'd you go, lady?
No, I wasn't done. There's more.
So she gets away, but the heist is ruined. Ruined by Spider-Man.
Bloody Spider-Man. He's a menace.
That's our bloody opening scene, Ben.
It's a very strong opening scene, Michael.
Right? Then, of course, at night, she goes back to the bank because, you know, she opened up the vault anyway. She only needs one person. She hits the thing.
She was probably going to betray all those cop guys anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she hits the thing and she goes in through the window, through the laser grid. And, you know, she gets the thing that she was there for. But as she's leaving, she goes up onto the roof and there's bloody Spider-Man.
Spooderman.
And he's like, hey, lady, you got away later.
Yeah.
And then we have a classic Spider-Man Black Cat chase scene.
It's a classic.
Exactly.
It's
through,
a classic.
Through the streets, over the rooftops, you know, maybe along a train. Maybe she manages to get a claw into a train.
And she's gone.
And no, he keeps chasing
Okay.
her. She keeps having incidents of good luck.
Oh.
Like Spider-Man lands on the edge of a building and it crumbles, whereas it was fine for her. Or, you know, a train passes at exactly the right moment for her to, and he's like,
Just stick the hand out and...
yeah, and he's like, damn, she's lucky. Right? And that's how she escapes. But now she's like, damn it, Spider-Man's on our case. Damn. Right? So
I was 2 days from retirement.
we find out
Yes.
that she's doing all of this robbing
Yes.
on behalf of the criminal mastermind, Hammerhead.
Hammerhead. Oh, good. I like Hammerhead.
And Hammerhead's like, you better do this or else I'll do a bad thing on you.
It's probably... We can get our dad involved? For
Yeah.
motivational purposes?
Yeah, I know where your dad is. I'll break his legs and whatnot.
Yeah, it's a
And
shame
he's-
your dad's stuck in prison, sweetheart.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous place in prison.
Her dad's not stuck in prison because there's the thing.
Ah,
but
damn it.
he
I'll stop adding this.
no, it's fine.
done.
But he's like, okay, we need you got that thing that we needed. Now
Yeah.
we need you to get this piece of thing from Stark,
Oh, Stark.
right? So there's a
Stark.
specific piece of Stark tech that she is being forced to go after,
To acquire.
right? Now, all the Black Cat stuff's finished.
Okay.
Now we go back to Felicia Hardy.
Oh.
And we follow Felicia Hardy. Now, this depends on what Spider-Man's doing in his life. If he's in university, she's going to the same university.
Probably going to be a uni thing.
Yeah, if he's in like first year of college, he meets her in college. And she's like,
tingle? Get a little tingle?
no. She's like, hey, Peter. And he's like, hi. And she goes,
Do I know you?
yeah, do I know you? And she's like, it's me, Felicia. And she's like, And she was like, we were in AP chemistry together.
Yeah.
Because she didn't get snapped.
Oh, so she's a little bit older.
So she's like 27, 28.
Boom.
He's 22.
Boom.
So he's like,
boom.
You've grown up, and she's in her, her sexy sweater vest, and she's like,
he's having a Ben moment.
So this is why it's Taylor Swift, because personally, Ben, I don't really like Taylor Swift.
Good, because I don't either.
But
so can we just recast her?
No,
please?
because there's so many really important points why she's a good choice. First of all, people love her.
Do they?
Yes, she has a massive fan base.
Why?
The reason that a lot of people don't like her is the reason that a lot of people love her.
Because she's not very good?
I don't know, but people like her. She has exactly the right kind of vibe for this character.
Okay.
So, also, she's the same height as Zendaya.
Important, I suppose.
Because they would be eye to eye, and both of them a good bit over Tom Holland.
Tom Holland's quite small.
He's only about 5'6".
That's tough, because Zendaya's what, 6?
No, Zendaya's only she's about 5'9", 5'10".
Okay.
But
significantly taller than Tom Holland.
Oh yeah, significantly taller than Tom Holland. So anyway, he meets her and he's like, do I know you? And she's like, Felicia, I was in your AP chemistry. And he's like, oh, my, how you've grown. And she's like, oh, stop it, Peter.
Hopefully less creepy than that.
Well, look, I'm not good at dialogue, Ben, especially not dialogue of the romantic nature.
That's my field.
See, like, my Felicia, how you've
Bye,
grown.
Felicia.
Don't spoil that. That's for later. So Felicia and Peter seem to be, building a relationship.
A rapport.
I think a good little trick of the movie would be for Peter to be constantly worried what MJ is going to think.
Well, it's just a classic trope.
But for MJ to be completely not bothered.
Well, it's a good reversal of
yeah,
that
exactly.
traditional role.
And she'd be like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, because it's kind of more in her character.
Yeah, and it would be good for like maybe Felicia to be a tiny bit catty, and MJ to not even react.
Yeah.
And just be like, whatever.
Okay. Have fun.
Yeah. So anyway, Peter and Felicia's relationship is building a little bit.
Yes.
At the same time that Peter is trying to track down this Black Cat person.
So the world knows he's Spider-Man.
Some of the world, people don't madly care.
Oh, well, that's good.
Because people knew who Tony Stark was.
Yeah, and Captain America was.
Captain America. It's not
secret
a secret
identities are not an MCU thing, really.
So he's just trying to live his normal life. He's like a moderately famous celebrity going to university.
Luke Cage.
No, he's more famous than Luke Cage, I'd say. But he's like if, say, bloody, Jack Gleason.
Yeah.
You know how Jack Gleason went to Trinity and people sometimes saw him and said,
"Hey,
was
Jack!"
often
at parties with Jack Gleason.
He's like that.
I was once at a urinal with Jack Gleason. It was very strange.
See, some people would say that about Peter Parker.
Yeah, fair enough.
And he's kind of surprised by how much it hasn't affected his life.
Oh, good.
But anyway, we're not talking about Peter Parker.
Sorry.
It's not. He's a secondary character in this. This is a Black Cat film.
Yeah.
So, in the vein of, do you remember how Captain America: Civil War was a political thriller?
Yes.
And probably the most popular Marvel film because
it's fucking great.
Do you remember how we were told Ant-Man was going to be a heist film?
Yes.
And then it wasn't.
Not at all.
It was a superhero film.
It was a superhero film.
Black Cat is going to be a heist film.
Like a proper heist film.
A proper heist
George
film.
Clooney's going to slide in at some point and give us a breakdown with a couple of quick snapshot montages.
Yeah, but it'll be Black Cat.
Great.
Right? So,
can George Clooney play Black Cat?
Yes.
Oh, great.
No, it's Taylor Swift.
I got all excited about George Clooney.
So, we find out that the big heist of the movie is going to be breaking into Stark Industries to get this thing for Hammerhead so that he'll leave her alone or leave whoever he's threatening alone.
Great.
Hammerhead has also hired some heavies who are going to do it the old-fashioned way.
I love your commitment to the term heavies.
Yeah, he's hired some heavies. Maybe the demolition crew. Something like that.
I love the demolition crew. They're such a weirdly obscure Marvel set of villains.
So maybe
I love
them. And they're his backup. They're like, if you don't get this done, we're knocking down the building. We're taking it.
Could we have them less hilarious than usual and just have them nanotech outfitted in some way?
No, because
I
think that would be a little bit too. All the Spider-Man villains have cobbled together nanotech.
Fair.
So anyway,
go on.
She builds a crew. She starts building a new crew. One of the guys she gets is the Tinkerer from Spider-Man Homecoming, because he didn't get arrested, I don't think.
Danny DeVito?
No, he was in it. Remember, he was the guy who was building Vulture's tech.
Oh, yeah, okay. So she gets him back.
She gets him back.
That's a classic Marvel trope at this point.
Bring back characters. Yeah. So she builds a little crew. She busts the cops and the guy out of prison. So she gets them, and they're like, I don't know, you got us caught last time. How are you going to stop this Spider-Man guy? And she's like, oh, well, look, I've got a plan. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry, I'll deal with it.
So, that's a good 20-minute sequence where they're setting it up, staking out the place, looking at security cameras.
It's an important montage.
Planning everything. So it comes to the evening of the heist. Exactly. I forgot to say something. There was another little thing.
Go.
I have to go back. Remember during the chase,
yes.
She falls off a couple of buildings.
Yeah.
And lands in like a bale of hay in the city.
She's very lucky.
And later on, she has claws.
Retractable claws
that can kind of cut through things.
They're genetic or they're part of the glove?
Well, later on, this is why I forgot to ask. Mm-hmm. Later on, someone asks, like, Spider-Man asks her,
How do you do that?
And she says, you wouldn't believe me. In their kind of flirty chase. Yeah. And he's like, you never know, lady. I believe a lot of things.
Yeah.
And she tells him she was scratched by a cursed cat.
Ah.
And he's like, oh, wow, lady. I was bitten by a radioactive spider.
That's crazy.
And she's like, oh, wow, that is kind of crazy. But then we flash back. Later she's talking to her crew.
Come on.
And she says, half the world disappeared for 5 years. It was pretty easy to steal things.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Oakland.
Look at you.
Yeah, go on. It cuts to Oakland, California in 2020.
In Oakland?
No, sorry. Oakland, California in 2023.
Yeah.
Right? And Shuri and Black Panther are at the Wakandan Outreach Center. And Shuri's like, take a look at this, brother. Look at this suit that I made. It's a little bit more feminine.
I think we'll get away with this just about. And she's that was tough. That was a pretty good Shuri impression for a 30-something-year-old white man.
And he's like, sister, you're not Black Panther. You can't make a... And she's like, it's not a Black Panther suit. It's just a nanotech. I'm just seeing how...
Just toying around with some stuff.
And they open the vault. And the female Black Panther suit that Shuri had made for herself is gone.
Bloody gone. Was Shuri not blipped?
She was, but this is back after the blip.
Okay,
This is
post blip.
That's why Black Cat was able to steal it. Because
after
Shuri wasn't there.
Was,
So Shuri made it before the blip. She's like, this is something I was working on before we all disappeared.
Look at that.
And she's
look
like,
at what you did.
Where is it? It's gone. Where is the bloody thing? But it's very obviously a Black Panther suit. So that's why she wears white gloves over it.
To give it her own kind of...
And that's why she wears a white collar around it. Mostly, not to give it her own look, just so...
people don't recognize it.
Wakanda don't come after her, basically.
Yeah.
But that explains a lot of why she's able to survive these lucky falls.
Because the vibranium.
Because it's a vibranium suit. It's not actually the awnings that are stopping her. Because if you land on an awning, you'll probably still die.
Yeah, it's not going to go well.
Yeah, but she has a vibranium
so
suit.
She's made up a story here about a cursed cat so that Wakanda doesn't
look into her. Spider-Man is thrown off guard. He thinks she has superpowers rather than it's just the suit.
It's just a tech suit.
Exactly. So anyway.
I like it, Michael. This is the kind of thing I love about a Michael pitch.
This is a good pitch.
I like
a pitch.
I love the little details that go into a Michael pitch. I'm a big fan.
So Ben, they have to break in and get this tech.
Go on.
Right? And it's a classic heist.
I'm so into it now, Michael.
Some of them are distracting the guards and everyone is like, what are we going to do if Spider-Man shows up? And she's like, don't worry.
I got this.
We cut back to her as Felicia. trying to kind of seduce Peter. He's more nervous what MJ's going to think, but she's like, Peter, you've got to meet me to help me finish this project. And he's like, okay, I'll meet you at the bloody Empire State Building to finish your project, but then we gotta not
do other stuff.
So she has she has removed Peter
from the scenario. 'Cause he's got a rendezvous with someone who isn't there.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, they're like, what if he does show up? And she says, don't worry, I know what to do if he does show up. So they do the heist. They do the classic heist. You know, she flips over a laser grid.
There's a little bit of tension at some point.
There's tension.
A classic cliche drop of sweat falls.
Exactly.
She has to catch it.
Yeah, one of the... Go on.
I have a little inspired dialogue thing. It's like, what if you sweat? And she just says, I don't sweat.
I don't sweat.
There we go.
And then one of the guards doesn't do what he's expected to do, and she has to give him a little fight. You know, just a little simple fight.
Black Widow leg throw.
A leg throw
kick.
thing, yeah. And the whole time, bloody, the wrecking crew are starting to get into position because they're like, she's not going to do this, boss. Let us just go in and wreck the place.
Yeah.
And then she triggers, accidentally, a silent Stark Tech alarm.
Nice.
And bloody Spider-Man, unexpectedly, shows up.
Hi again.
And he's like, hey, hi, it's me. And
you know alarms have moved on from bells, right? Yeah.
So he comes, he turns off the security code to let himself in because he's Stark Tech access.
He's got the fucking magic glasses.
He's got the magic glasses, the Edith.
They're probably built into the suit by
and
now.
it's like,
he has them as a contact or something.
He sees her and he's like, Edith, deactivate security protocols. I got this. And she's like, okay, here's the deal. Takes off the wig. And he's like, oh my God, it's you, Felicia.
Yeah.
And then he's like, listen, here's the deal. Let me take this. I need this. And he's like, I just can't let you just walk out of here. And she's like, no, but I need this. It's for my dad or something. I'm not a bad bloke. You have to help me out here. And just as that's happening, the wrecking crew bust in. And then we have Spider-Man and Black Cat
the wrecking crew
versus the wrecking crew. It ends with Spider-Man taking the thing, but again, reporters and police arrive. They see the wrecking crew wrecking the place, and Spider-Man leaving with the thing.
Bloody Spider-Man getting a hard time.
Exactly. Right?
Go on.
So it looks like everything's gone terribly. Her crew all ditch and escape, and then she legs it, and she's like, he's like, okay, I'll let you go. You can't have this thing.
This one fucking time.
You can't have this thing, but I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
Then she goes back to Hammerhead, and she's like, Spider-Man ruined it. You sent your guys in. Spider-Man has the thing. This is between you and the Spider now. And Hammerhead's like, get out of here. I'll get you next time. Then she leaves, and we flash back to the very, 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 very beginning of the film.
Good.
And at the very beginning, we see Felicia Hardy finding out on the news that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Then she follows him. And she follows him for a couple of weeks, and she learns that he has a dead-end job that still pays in checks, despite it being 2026.
No.
And he cashes his check every Tuesday at 3 o'clock in that particular bank.
No.
Huh? Then we flash back to when they were driving away in the getaway car with the police car, and one of the guys says, there's someone driving too close behind us. He's going to give us away. And when Spider-Man lands, we see her kicking out the back window, rolling back. She rolls under the car.
No.
She rolls under the car that was behind them.
D Nanos
opens a hatch, gets in the car, and she's like, hey, Dad.
Get to fuck.
Exactly. And then we see that all of the lucky things that happened when Spider-Man were chasing her, she had spent hours setting them up.
It was all part of the plan.
Exactly. When she takes the thing that she stole from the vault, the first vault in the bank,
vault number 1,
throws it away. The whole point was to get on Spider-Man's radar. Because she knew she couldn't beat the wrecking crew. She knew she couldn't get
what she really needed.
blockhead off her back. She knew she couldn't break in. What's his name?
Hammerhead.
She knew she couldn't break into Stark. It's too high tech.
Blockhead's like my favourite term.
So the whole movie was her orchestrating Spider-Man coming and turning off the security.
Michael, I'm shook.
So that she could get in. It turns out she wasn't even there for the thing that Hammerhead had
wanted in the
forced her.
first place. She's getting something for Dad.
She got something for Dad on the sly.
What?
The whole time.
What, Michael?
The whole
I've
time.
been hoodwinked.
Drew Peter's like, I've been hoodwinked. And Mary Jane's like, dude.
I could have told you that.
Could have told you that. And then she escapes. Her crew all meet up and they're like, success. And they're like, yeah, good job, everybody.
Oh, it's a classic
Ocean's
heist.
11. It's a heist film.
And it doesn't matter what it is. Are we pulling a Quentin Tarantino golden box?
You could
Doesn't
do
matter
a
what's in the
bloody
box.
MacGuffin. Whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. It
you.
doesn't matter what it is.
Look at you.
It doesn't bloody matter what it
I'm
is.
so impressed.
Yeah. So the reason it was Taylor Swift is, have you seen J. Scott Campbell's?
Yeah,
have
he
you
looks,
seen?
yeah, I understand why he's done it.
He's clearly referencing Taylor Swift.
Well, Michael, I'm going to give you a secondary pitch. Taylor Swift has been ruined as a casting choice for this movie because she's going to be in the much maligned Cats musical adaptation now, and she can't be two cats at once, especially a terrible cat like that. Second of all, I don't think she's a good enough actress to pull that off. Third of all,
I don't know if she is. I think a lot of the thing about it is that, I don't know, I think that image there, Taylor Swift in the bath full of diamonds, that's very Black Cat.
Yeah, I'm going to pitch Margot Robbie.
No, not Margot Robbie.
You need someone with a lot of oomph.
Definitely
to get that
not
role.
Margot Robbie.
No, you're wrong.
My backup choice is Cara Delevingne.
I was going to say Cara Delevingne. That's crazy. Okay, yeah, Cara Delevingne's a great choice.
No, but it's Cara Delevingne's too short. You lose. I love the idea of the two ladies in his
Being
life
tall enough.
being both the same height, taller than him, and not being too plussed about him.
This is amazing.
And the good thing about it is Spider-Man doesn't undergo any character development in this film because
He
he's
doesn't
a
need it.
secondary character.
Yeah, he doesn't need
He's
it.
a
already
hurdle.
know.
Exactly.
What a fantastic inversion of tropes. Michael, I want to see this movie.
I bloody want to see it.
Yeah.
I think surely someone has bloody photoshopped Taylor Swift as Black Cat
Kevin,
before.
get on it. Kevin, I'll do it for you this afternoon. I know you just want it in your collection.
That's all I want.
I'll do it for you this afternoon.
Is that going to be the thumbnail?
Probably.
Oh, very good.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
So, yeah, I don't know who would play Hammerhead.
You want to get a big character actor to do that.
Yeah.
Big, strong character actor. Let me think. Who did I see recently that was very good? He has to be quite imposing.
Yeah.
As a person. I want to say like who's the guy? Kevin Duncan? Nah, sorry. She just doesn't do it for me.
It's not about whether she
Kevin
does it
Duncan,
for you or not, Ben.
It is. That's exactly what these pitches are for.
Yeah,
Look up Kevin
great.
Duncan there for Hammerhead.
Who's Kevin Duncan?
Kevin Duncan. Kevin Duncan. I think he's probably ideal casting for that.
And yeah, the main thing about it is it's a heist. It's a classic heist.
It's a classic heist.
It's a heist film. It's not a super.
Can
It's
George Clooney be her dad?
That would be cool.
Yeah,
that
that's
would
a
be
good
cool.
choice now.
That would be a very good choice.
Look up Kevin Duncan there. I think Kevin Duncan's probably your Hammerhead. I think that's probably a solid call.
Who's Kevin Duncan? He's a business advisor, marketing expert, and motivational speaker.
I have the wrong name then.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I am.
What's he in?
Look, he was. He's the southern character actor and everything. He played the Blob in the awful Wolverine movie.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, he's a pretty solid call.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Oh, okay.
I've never enjoyed. He was in Resident Evil as well. He
Yeah,
played
he was.
Barry.
Yeah.
I've never enjoyed his work in any. He was in Lost.
Yeah, he was for a bit. Okay, well, if we don't want him, then who else could we cast there? Anyway, Michael, we've run out of time. We're quickly approaching pod cut-off time. So, ladies and gentlemen,
yes,
do you want to see Michael's amazing pitch please moment for Black
Kevin
Cat?
Durand.
Kevin Durand.
I don't think Kevin Durand has enough of a hammerhead to be Hammerhead. He has kind of a long, thin, but he has a kind of long, thin head.
Who are we going to get then?
I don't know. I mean, the other option is Kingpin. If you could get
Vincent D'Onofrio
back as Kingpin,
he has the right screen presence.
He'd be even better
to be imposing
in a lot of ways.
But he wouldn't be fooled. This is the thing. I think Hammerhead is supposed to be a bit of a, as you put it so eloquently, blockhead.
He's a bit of a block.
And he needs to be fooled by Black Cat. Kingpin would cop it. And that's why it doesn't really work. Do you know who would be great if he was bigger and taller and wasn't the Punisher? The Punisher would be a great Hammerhead.
John Bernthal.
He's got a real hammer kind of head going on. You give him that buzz cut. John Bernthal would be great at that. But he's, again, not big enough or imposing enough to pull that off. He's a little guy. Anyway.
And you need a crew of interesting character actors as well.
You'll find that no problem. Character actors are a dime a dozen, Michael. Dime a dozen.
What's her name? Kristen Schaal?
Kristen Schaal is a good show for the
She's never going to be a superhero.
Crew. Yeah, no.
She'd be a good kind of.
She'd be a great addition to the
kind of kindly lady
Marvel
cop.
Character actor roster. Ladies and gentlemen,
go on.
Did you enjoy the pitch? The pitch, please.
Pitch, please.
Did you enjoy it? Would you watch that film? Who would you cast as the Black Cat? Because we're clearly divided here in the tiny room. Taylor Swift's a terrible choice. She's a terrible actress. She's an irritating person.
Taylor Swift.
No,
sure.
I'm not on for it. But look, let us know what you think. Are you a big Black Cat fan? Are you a big Black Cat fan? What is your formative representation of the character? What did you think? That's all from us this week, ladies and gentlemen. You can find us in different places. If you want to give us a D-list comic book character that you'd like to see turned into a pitch, you can get in touch with us at seomrabeag.com. SEOMRABEAG.com.
It means tiny room in Irish.
It means tiny room in Irish. We are on Instagram. And as always, you can find both our podcasts, Collecting Issues or Michael and Benjamin's podcast, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you're on there, give us an hour review. We are on YouTube. Give us an hour like and a subscribe. We need it. Go on, give us the boost.
Give us a boost.
Give us the boost. We're working on crumbs here, ladies and gentlemen. On crumbs.
Ben, tell them to bloody tell them what Collecting Issues is about this week.
Collecting Issues, our next issue of Collecting Issues will be out the following Wednesday from when this drops. The Wednesday week of when this podcast drops will be on Headlopper by Andrew McLean, which is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful barbarian.
Don't spend your load.
But anyway, we'll take a look at it next week. That's all from us this week, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Bye. Who's the Black Cat? I couldn't think of a good sign off. Sorry, everybody. Bye.